Hi, witchy friends. I'm getting my live stream out of the way early today. Hitting the afternoon times. Because we're heading into the weekend, and so hope everybody's having a wonderful Friday. Has great things planned for the weekend. I have got some people visiting from out of town. We've got some fun stuff coming up. So, what's even more fun that's coming up, of course, is the book launch. So, for those of you who haven't heard yet or haven't seen on the on my Instagram or my other social media or seen the 2 live streams so far the past couple of days, I am preparing to launch my first written book. I've published other things, coloring books, workbooks, but this is the first written work that I have published, and it's going to launch next week. So I've been going live and want to hi to those who just joined. So the important information on that is that the book launches next Thursday, October 28th, and we are going to have a big live stream book launch that night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. There's all sorts of information at deepselfmagic.com. If you go there, all of the book launch stuff is information is there. The book is about it's called Deep Self Magic: A Step-by-Step Roadmap to Spiritual Authenticity, and it's really at its core about how all of us really have to build our own spiritual practice, the one that fits us, the one that fills our spiritual needs and the needs of our soul. And we can't do that until we really deeply know ourselves and really connect with our own authenticity. So super excited to bring that out. And I wanted to come on live every day between, in the week leading up to the launch. And I want to mention that there is a media kit, there's some images you can download on the deepselfmagic.com page, so you can share it on your own stories and that kind of stuff. So, but I wanted to kind of talk in these live streams about how this book came to be and where it comes from, and sort of the connections that came together to sort of make me want to write the book, and also to inform the way it turned out. And so I already kind of talked about my spiritual past and my kind of path to where I'm at in my practice, where I'm at with, magic and alchemy and all of that. And that path. But I wanted to talk specifically about the book and kind of where this comes from. So I mentioned in the last couple of days, somewhere along the line in my spiritual path, from growing up as an evangelical preacher's kid to kind of discovering this local pagan, community, and really getting into this local meetup that I now run, where it's a gathering of all sorts of different paths and flavors of paganism, and we all just sort of share ideas and things that we're interested in, and pick a topic and just sit around and have informal, discussions over coffee kind of thing. And got into, sort of found things that really lit me up and were really fascinating. Things like, alchemy and crystals and all of that stuff. But along the way, I kind of struggled, and I talked about this yesterday, about, trying to find truth, right? And trying to find, because growing up, I'd always felt like religion and spirituality was supposed to be about some sort of guiding truth. And somewhere along the line, I kind of sat down and realized that it didn't make sense to me that there was, that the point of religion would be to please some sort of deity. That wasn't that's not what I got out of spirituality, and that didn't make sense to me. And then this whole, which one is the right one? And so I realized that functionally I'm an atheist. I don't believe that there's some sort of all-powerful thing pulling the strings in my life. That if there's things out there, they are not over me. We are all part of the same ecosystem, which technically falls into the atheist funnel. But at the same time, I was still very drawn to spirituality, and I felt like I needed it. And I've gone through sort of, I will talk about this more in the week to come, but, went through experiences that made me realize how much I do and why I need spirituality and what it is and why I need it. But I was very much kind of in that about, I'd say 6 or 7 years ago. And so I came across on my social media an image that was like the sort of the family tree of world religions, and going all the way back to Paleolithic man and animism and everything that spawned, how that all grew into the variety of religious paths that we have today. And landing on that, I was like, if I'm an academic at heart. I love nerding out on things. And I was like, if I started researching, if we really went back to the beginning and looked at not like what we've always assumed, what I've always been told that evidence says about early humans, but actually went back and looked at the archaeological record, what anthropologists have, discovered and all, like really looked at the research, and traced it all the way through human history. Like what would I find if I looked at it from the standpoint, not of, I need to scientifically write a paper about whatever, but to go, what does this tell me about why humans have developed spirituality and religion the way we have? And so that's the first step towards what this book, how this came to be. Because I started back in the Paleolithic and I started digging up research, scientific journals and books and research papers, and not reading the part of where people were drawing their own conclusions about what the evidence meant, but actually looking at the evidence. And what came out of it for me, and that project is going to be a much larger book years down the line. I am nowhere near done with it. But figured the first chapter would be on the Middle Paleolithic humans, and doing that research, what came out of it for me was that when you stop looking at all of that through the lens of what we've already been told is true, is like the conclusions should be, because a lot of those things are just guesses when you look and go, well, it may be a good guess, but we're always just guessing. There's no way we're going to know for sure. And when you strip all that away, the truth is that our Paleolithic ancestors were way more advanced thinkers than we think that they were, or that we've been told that they were. It's not like, caveman, they're not just sitting in a cave wondering, scared of fire and scared of what's outside. Like, they were masters of the environment, and they had trade routes, and they were making jewelry, and they were doing all of this stuff that's not just like, oh, they must have had some sort of belief system, but like they figured out how to navigate and trade with each other and create industry. Like this is far more than we've been told. And what I came away from that with was this idea that, man, if we did the same sort of exercise looking at ourselves and said, if I sit here and stop thinking about like, what do I need? This is all the reasons that people have told me I need spirituality and religion. Forget about all of that. Like, if I look at my life and what am I capable of, and what do I need extra, do I need a deity for something? Is there, like, what role does this play, and what am I without it? If I stop assuming that there are limits, am I more advanced than I think that I am? Like, are humans in general, do we have more potential than we think than we've been told that we do? And that was sort of the beginning of this book, because I realized that for every chapter I was researching and writing, basically that could spawn a whole other thing. So that's where this started, that, the idea of, if we strip away all the preconceived conclusions that we have, and all of much of which comes from baggage that we've picked up from our spiritual history. And I talked a couple of days ago on the live stream about how, I started out as a preacher's kid, and I've been Catholic, and I've, I've gotten into Wicca, and I've done, like all sorts of things. And all along the way, I've picked up not just cool skills and knowledge and whatever, but I've picked up baggage. I've picked up ideas about what spirituality is supposed to look like or feel like, or ways I'm supposed to be, use it, and how all of that is supposed to work. And to really get an authentic sense of self and an authentic spirituality, we kind of have to dump that all off. And that means digging into where did we pick it up, and how do we still carry that with us? And when we get rid of all of that, what are we left with? What is spirituality about? And it's kind of different for each of us. And I think a lot of times when we change paths, when we leave a religion, we don't really realize how much we still carry that with us, how much of it we still keep, because it's just become not just habit, but kind of embedded into our subconscious. And especially when it comes to rules and limits and things we've been told we're not capable of or not supposed to do, or the way that, we are supposed to think or not supposed to think. And it changes how we view ourselves, and it changes how well we know ourselves. It changes how we interact with people. So part of what this book does is guides you through how to dig into that, and how to strip some of that away, and how to finally connect with who you are authentically, without carrying all those pieces of baggage that you don't really want to be carrying, because we carry it without knowing. And when we become aware of it, we go, oh, that's not the person that I would like. I don't want to be limited by that. So that in a little nutshell is a bit of how this book idea came to be. And so I don't want to go super long on this live stream. So thank you all for who joined on. Thank you for watching. And I'm going to click on my little wave button to wave at everybody. So thank you so much. I knew there would probably be more people on here in the afternoon than in the evening when I did it the other day. So thank you for watching. And I encourage you to check out the live streams from the past couple of days. They're in my IGTV. And the book launch, Deep Self Magic, A Step-by-Step Roadmap to Spiritual Authenticity, launches, at least in ebook form. We're having some delays on the paperback, but it will come soon thereafter. But we're launching next Thursday, October 28th. There's going to be a Zoom / Facebook Live virtual launch event at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then there's going to be 2 weeks, a full 14 days of giveaways after the launch. And so to register for those, you just have to go to deepselfmagic.com and sign up for the update list. And I'm super excited. This is the first of what's probably going to be a whole series of books. And over the course of 2022, I'm going to put together and publish a companion workbook and a coloring book and an oracle deck and the audiobook. And so it's the beginning of a much larger project. So I encourage you to stop by the website, check out the details, and yeah, can't wait to get this off the ground. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, and I will see you over the weekend.